Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my Shoebox Adventures. Steve here. It's approximately 6:30 a.m. Got a little sunrise going on right now. I'm looking off to the east, and I am in Quartzsite. That's right, Quartzsite in October. On my way to California, so I thought I'd stop by. I'm not setting up a permanent camp or anything at this time, but I wanted to take a look at Quartzsite. I've never been here this early in the season. Excuse my voice. Just woke up and wanted to capture sunrise, so I haven't had my morning coffee. You can see here, I'm in one of the LTVAs, the long-term visitor areas. There's the setup right here, as it is. Very minimal setup because I won't be here too long. And the temperature's still too warm for me here in Quartzsite. It's been 85, of course. As soon as I show up, it jumps to 91. And that's just enough to make it fairly unpleasant. Right now, it's 57 degrees. The evenings cool off, so it's doable. And the crowds are coming. I'm actually quite surprised. Good morning, guys. I'm surprised that there are this many people here this early in the season. This is middle of October, and I've never shown up in Quartzsite before late November, I think, and maybe it was even later than that. I don't remember. I have no memory anymore. Doesn't really matter. But this year is going to be a big year, I think, especially in relation to the long-term visitor areas, and we'll talk about that later. I wanted to pop out and give you a little sunrise shot and say good morning. I've got to get in there and have some coffee and some breakfast, and then we'll take a look. I'm going to take you around. I'm going to talk about long-term visitor areas today in Quartzsite. That seems to be a subject everybody wants to talk about. You don't have to stay in long-term visitor areas. That's a fee area. You have to pay. And this season, for the very last time, the fee is $180 for the entire season. The season lasts from September 15th until April 15th. And so if you're staying in an LTVA here in Quartzsite, if you're doing the winter visitor thing, which is really, really popular, you have no idea, that's 7 months for $180, and you don't have to move. You don't have to move. You can move. You can move as much as you want, but you don't have to. And people set up elaborate camps. It takes them a week, 2 weeks just to set up, and then they're planted there for 6-7 months. And it's kind of a fun way to go. Next year they're going to jack the rates up, and I think this year, one of the reasons this year is going to be so popular, it's the last chance to grab the cheap rate. It's been $180 for years and years and years, and now they're claiming they're going to jump it up to $600, which is huge. $600 I think is a shocking jump, and I'll tell you one of the reasons I think they're doing that later. We'll talk about this whole thing. But let me get in there and get some coffee. Then I can talk your ears off as soon as I have some caffeine. All right. Hey, thanks for coming by, you guys. This is going to be a fun one if you're interested in Quartzsite. If you've never been here before, if you're just wondering what the deal is, there's all kinds of free camping everywhere, and the season's just getting started. This October is just the tip of the iceberg. This place, estimates are, 500,000 people, some estimates 1 million people. I've heard some people go way out on a limb and claim 2 million people. There's no one with a ticker that counts everybody coming and going. But one thing's for sure, this sleepy little town of 2,000 explodes in the winter, especially January, February, where it's quite amazing. It really is. So let's talk about it after I have some coffee. I'll be back. All right, I've had my coffee, I've had my eggs, I've done a little cleanup here, and so let's go across the street. Let me take you over to La Posa South. We'll talk more about this LTVA business. Before we take off, let me show you my setup real quick. Now, this is not, of course, a normal, like I'm staying for a long time setup. This is just my couple of days setup. Oh yeah, yesterday was Sunday. And I had a wonderful time because I was able to relax. I was tired yesterday. I didn't do much, but I sat here in my chair, and I've got my little wooden platform here because I put one of my portable power stations down there, and and put my laptop on top of the portable power station, I was able to watch Sunday night football with my beloved 49ers. It was quite relaxing and fun to sit here out in the middle of nowhere, thanks to Starlink pulling in that signal for me and giving me Sunday night football in the middle of nowhere. So once again, if you plan for this and if you have some years to gather a little bit of equipment, you can really have an enjoyable experience out here. That's just like home. It was way more fun sitting out here watching football. It was like a sports bar experience out here in the desert. So that was fun for me. Wanted to relate that to you guys. You can... It doesn't have to be roughing it out here. So let's go. Let's jump in the truck. Let's go across the street. I'll show you how the LTVA thing works. All right, guys. I just wanted to stop here. Let me just give you a quick pan. There's my campsite just right back there. And here is this boondoggle I've been talking about a little bit. It says, notice temporarily closed to public use. This is a dump station. And look at this thing. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4 bays. So you can dump 4 RVs at a time. They put this in, they started 3 years ago building this. And I probably put the drone up, or I will put the drone up and show you some aerial pictures. Up ahead here is the water station, where again, 4 campers at a time, RVs at a time, can fill up with water. So we had our water fill there, we had our dump here. This has been non-operational. This does not work. They spent millions, I'm sure. I haven't seen a budget on it, but it doesn't work. This is was supposed to be up and running last year, didn't work. Again, this year still doesn't work. So they spent all that money to build this for us, which would have been great. This is way overdue, way, way, way overdue. And the rumors, you know, this is all rumor, this is all hearsay. I have to start this off by saying I don't know to all the questions, but apparently there was a problem with the well, with the drilling. There's no water. You know, there's great big, off in the distance over here, there's great big evaporation ponds where they pump all the nastiness that comes out of our tanks and it evaporates over there. There's a big pump station up on the hill over there where, you know, there's all kinds of infrastructure under the ground for this. This was a huge project put on by the BLM and much appreciated, except it doesn't work. And I think that they spent millions of dollars. This is, you know, BLM, this is government land. This is our land. But this is funded by our taxes already. And I can see them collecting a fee for these fee areas because we have amenities, because we have water, because we have pit toilets, because we have garbage service. You have to pay somebody to take the trash away. So this is all above and beyond the normal BLM budget. I understand. I totally understand. But they should figure this out. This is the U.S. government, for Christ's sake. Make this work. If someone was contracted to do a job and they didn't do it, it's the government. We're all afraid of the government. Why aren't they suing these people? Why aren't they making it happen? So they should fix this. It would just make life easier. If this wasn't even here and they'd never even done it, it would be less frustrating for people, I think. This is right here in front of our faces for now the second straight year, not working. We saw it going in 3 years ago and got very excited. So maybe if this was working, it would help ease the pain of the giant fee increase next year. Better be working by next year. I have we'll keep going. I'm afraid that jump back in the Baby Max here. I'm afraid that people are not gonna camp here for the $600, especially if there aren't improved amenities. I mean, for $600, I think they should go even further. Let's put in some showers. Even if they're pay showers where you have to put tokens in or something. But let's not get carried away. Let's try to make this work first. Yeah, people are gonna camp on the free land, and I'm gonna show you that free land, not right now, but later. We'll talk about all the free areas, which is where I've always camped. I've never paid for this. And they're all gonna move to the free land. They're gonna turn the LTVA into an affluent-only zone. If you don't have $600, you can't stay here. So I'm wondering how this is all going to work out. Next year will be very interesting to see, A, how much the fee is. Is it really going to be $600? And B, who's going to pay it? And then how are they going to enforce the rules on the free land? They've been very lax. People stay way beyond 2 weeks. People stay the whole season. If you keep a very clean camp and it looks like you just arrived yesterday, you can get away with that. They don't have the personnel to run around and check people and see who's staying and who's not and kicking them off. But if they raise the fee and enough people pay it and they have extra money, they'll hire more BLM agents and they'll start enforcing the rules. Things are going to change. Change is not always for the better. We'll see how that goes. Let's go across the street. All right, guys, here I'm leaving my camping area. Oh, this guy, I'm going to wait for this guy to turn left. There's a guy trying to turn left. This is where we're headed, where this Chevy truck's coming out. It's a nice one, Z71. So here's Highway 95. If this is not Highway 95, because I'm always wrong, the proper name will appear below. If nothing appears below, it is 95. But here's the entrance to La Posa South. This is what they all look like. It's a fee area, La Posa South, long-term visitor area. And right here is the pay booth. This is where you check in and you register and you give them your money and you get your stickers. Now, there's a flagpole out front there. If the flag is flying, they are open and taking money. I'm so glad to see there's no flag. That means I don't have to pay right now. And I thought they were open. Maybe it's only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is a Monday. So anyway, here's where you'd pull over. And you can see immediately we've got campers. We've got campers here. Here's the first of many pit toilets. And if you don't have tanks, if you're camping in a tent or an SUV or a little whatever, and you don't have a toilet, you don't have holding tanks, they want you to camp within 500 feet of the pit toilet because you're not allowed to poop on the ground. You can't be digging holes or doing any of that out here. None of that. And so that's why you see a lot of cars and minivans and tents clustered around this area because they're close to the pit toilet. But look at this, right inside the entrance, and this goes deep. We've got people camped here, and these people are setting up these camps usually for the whole season. Isn't this fascinating? Let's look at that wonderful school bus. Wonderful school bus. Nice paint job. And this is what people are doing here. Now, here's one of the first amenities. This is a Blue Boy dump. A Blue Boy, if you're not familiar with Blue Boy, you can look it up. It's a portable poop container, so you don't have to drive your RV all the way to the dump station. You can fill up your Blue Boy and bring your Blue Boy and just dump the Blue Boy. And that's what that station was there. Now, I don't like camping right by the road. They paved the road last year, I believe, is when this pavement went in. Used to be dirt, like the one over across the street. So now the dust is way down, and camping right here wouldn't be bad because you don't have the dust. A lot of people like to camp right here. You can get in and out quickly to go to town. Here's a minivan with a tent. Ooh, there's a Tab 400. I wished I had a Tab 400. But here's another pit toilet here. So they're scattered all around, very convenient. And then you see people parked near the pit toilet to follow the rules. If you don't have holding tanks, a lot of vans, a lot of minivans. And that's what it looks like, guys. You just come out here and let's put this window down too so we get a better look out the window. And this is nothing. This is October. Keep in mind, October. By December, I'll show you the change because hopefully we'll be back here. Hopefully we'll be back here in November to stay for a while. I don't know if I'll stay 4 months, but I'll stay for a while, through January anyway. I'm not paying attention to my camera work. I hope it's not too terrible. But look at this. And it's a real community. People are friendly. Here's where the dump station line starts. And normally there's a big line of cars and campers waiting to use the dump station. We've got the dumpsters here to throw your trash. They've got you can just drive right up, throw your trash right in, and move on. This guy's in line, and these people are dumping their tanks. But that's all we've got. For all 4 LTVAs, there are 2 dump stations. That is it. So you can imagine how long the line gets. A lot of people just go into town. There are many places in town to pay to dump your tanks. And you don't have to wait in line, at least not like that. Now here's the water fill stations. They've got at least 4 of those. So you can fill with water here. And now we're just going into open desert. Now the amenities are here. Here's another pit toilet. Like I mentioned, they're fabulous that they put those in. This is all what the fee covers. Now here's a person, see, they're probably tent camping. They've left all their junk there. They've got a table and chairs and junk, but they're in town or they're somewhere else. Here's someone with an SUV, and they've got the SUV tent attached to the back. I really like those. I have one of those. And that works out great because then you're not crammed into that little SUV. You've got a big 10 by 10 tent that's attached to the SUV. You can go back and forth from your vehicle to your tent without ever going outside. Really nice when the weather gets crappy. But look at how this goes. We'll take off. Let me get off this road and show you a little bit of how deep this goes. The road is going to end now. The paving ends, but the road continues. Paving ends. And the road continues. We'll go a little bit in here and then we'll turn around. But you can go off to the left or the right for quite a while. We've got electric bikes here. Look at how fun they're having fun. Good morning. Ah, nice. Fat tire electric bikes. You'll see a lot of those. And you can just go back in here if you want to be by yourself and don't want to be so packed in. The deeper you go, the more solitude you get. You can get away. But the road, of course, is a little bit rough, a little bit dusty. Here's another pit toilet. Later in the season, there'll be a lot of vans and SUVs parked around there. Now, I like to park next to a wash, and you'll see the green areas are the washes. That's where the water runs when it rains, so things will grow. And I like to park like that, those people right against the wash. But this is very extensive. It just keeps going and going and going. And this is the big attraction. No one's going to ask you to move. And you can dump your trash, you can dump your tanks, you can get water. And you can use the bathrooms if you want to save space in your tank. And you also get to look at a lot of different rigs. If you're wondering what to buy, if you want to get a camper, you want to get something, look at that tent. That's beautiful. Big, giant tent. And like I said, this is not crowded at all. There's basically no one here. Look at all this open space. Open space out the window. All right, I'm going to turn around because we could just do this forever. Let me show you. See if we can look at this without the window with the bugs. But look at it, it just goes forever. It's really pretty cool. And people live out here for up to 7 months, currently for $180. Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn around. And all the LTVAs look about the same. I mean, I can take you into all 4. The other ones don't have the dump station. The other ones don't have the water fill. But now we're just talking about, currently I'm just talking about the 4 that are here in Quartzsite. There are at least 7 LTVAs. The one down in Yuma at Imperial Dam is very popular. It's on a reservoir, and they have more dump stations, more water fills. I think they even have showers. And that when you buy your permit, you can go to any one of these places. You can go to any of the LTVAs. You can move around. And if I'm going to buy the permit this year because I'm pretty sure I'll never be able to afford it again. And I want to go down to Yuma and check it out. Never been there. Let's go. You guys will go with me. All right, I've turned around. Speed limit 15. I'm doing 11. The faster you go, the more dust you kick up. So it's very inconsiderate to speed down these roads, although people do it all the time. Let's go. Let's get off the main road. Let me take a little bit of a detour. I'm going to turn off the main road now. We're back at the entrance. And so if we just take the first left, there's a little bridge here over a wash, a concrete bridge. And I'm always amazed, back here in this area, a lot of groups come back here and form little cities back here, and they do it year after year. They know each other. But look at this. Here's some woodwork going on here. A lot of artists come out here, people that make things, and they'll sell their art. You can get some very unique things from very unique people out here. But see how they've set up. Now this is an elaborate camp, obviously going to be here for months. And there's again a pavilion here. A lot of people set up around the pavilion. You can do public events. They had a meetup here of YouTubers last year. They might do it again. But here's again a pit toilet, a nice one here. So you get a lot of tents, you get a lot of vans, and it's just a wonderful community out here, and people helping people. And right on the wash. I like the wash. And when the rains come, the washes flow, and it's really wonderful. 2 or 3 years ago, I lose track of time, it rained a lot in the winter. It was very unusual, and these washes were running, and it was really fun. It was nice. Cleans the desert right up. So there's your look, you guys. There's your look at the LTVA here at La Posa South. But there are 4 of these LTVAs down here, like I mentioned. This is the one with the dump station. I have to decide, do I want the super busy one? Or do I want one that's a little bit more quiet? We'll see. You know, I'm going to hit the highway now. There's where I'm staying right now at La Posa Tyson Wash. But let's head up the freeway. Let me get going here, get some horsepower going. So this runs right up to Quartzsite. We're just a couple of miles south of Quartzsite. I haven't measured the distance. So here's the sign that everybody loves. Welcome to Quartzsite. And here are the 2 LTVAs that are closest to the town. Should we check one out? I've never been in here. Again, there's no flag flying, nobody taking any money. Well, let's take a look. So here are the 2 closest to town, because the town is right there. And this is La Posa West. This is very popular because you can just walk to town or ride your bike easily from here. So a lot of people like to be here, but I gotta warn you, when January comes, boy, real estate is hard to come by here. You have to be happy with somebody parking right next to you. I mean, there's a 15-foot rule, and that's what you'll get. You'll get 15 feet. There's a nice little E-Pro. That's pretty nice. Let's go off in this direction here. Here's your dumpster. All of the areas have a dumpster. Now, they don't have any, again, I mentioned, no water station here, no dump station here, but everyone has trash. You can throw away your trash. Right? Throw away your trash. And then you can just get back in here. And you can just get out, you can just walk right from here. And go to all the shopping, all the food. Right from here. And I'm going to show you how close that is. If you happen to, stake out a spot early like these guys did, it's prime real estate. But right across that, there it is. The big tent's going to be right there. You just walk through the trees and you're there. So this is very, very popular. All right, we're going to turn around. But see this setup? He's all set. These people are all set. That's so nice. Look at that. They're back in here. They've got the wash, and they can just walk to the big tent. They can walk to the Celarama. Walk there, walk back. Never get in your rig. Now this, look at this. We're going to take this dirt road. This is going to be kind of fun. So here is what they call the Old Yuma Highway. And they grade this, luckily. They just graded it. Because in the winter, like we just had those rains, the rains come through here and make it all rutted out and washed out and rocky. And they came through here about a week or so ago with a grader. And they flattened it out a little bit for us. But look, you can camp out here. You can camp out here. And it's fun because Quartzsite has mining history too. We'll talk about some of this stuff as time goes by. The camera's not going to pick it up, but there's an old stamp mill and an old mine up there on the hill from the old days when miners would bring their ore and crush it right there. They had enough business where that was running for a while. I think it ran up till about World War II. I'm not sure. I didn't Google the history on that. But look, there's an RV way back in there. right on the wash. See the big wash, Tyson wash, the big wash that runs through town is right there. And people like to run their side-by-sides up and down the wash. And here's a wash. Water will run through here when it rains. Whether we'll get any winter rain, we do not know. The weather forecast for the whole winter is no. It's going to be drier than normal and warmer than normal. So those of you trying to escape the winter cold are going to have a nice warm winter down here if the weather forecast is correct, which is only a 50-50 proposition, as you know. But isn't this fun? We're rolling up here on the Yuma Highway, and in the old days, this used to go all the way to Yuma. I don't know how far it goes now. I don't think I'll bother to test it. Now this will run all the way down. There's a free BLM area on the others down south of where we are. I think it's 5 miles south of town, called the Roadrunner BLM. But you don't need a fancy rig to do this, guys. Look, here's a Subaru. Subaru and a nice tent. That's all you need. Spend the winter out here. Look at that. There's our blue dumpster. So camping right here would be convenient. You've got a pit toilet right there, and you got a dumpster right here. You got some YouTubers that live in this particular neighborhood right here. Yep. Fun times. These guys are in a good spot. All right, so there's an example, guys. This is what you're looking at when you come out here to the LTVA. So many choices, right? Where to camp. So I've accidentally shown you 3 out of 4 of the LTVAs. I didn't show you La Posa North. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope you got something out of this tour. LTVA. That's today. We'll cover the free areas in the future because you really need to know about those free areas. If you're not going to spend a million years here and you don't need, that dump station, you don't need to spend the money for the LTVA.